Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Conway. Today we're going to be covering all of the stimulus news, including the brand new third stimulus check of $1,400 that's going to true us all up to $2,000 based upon the last check that we got. We're going to be talking about renter's assistance. There's a video that I made a few weeks back talking about renter aid, how you can get money. I'm going to tell you a shortcut in order to get your money. If you're a renter, they can cover your rent. We're going to be covering that. We're going to cover unemployment insurance and talking also about when that third stimulus check might be coming. And we're going to touch on a few political matters, which is going to impact the answers to all of these questions. With that being said, my name is Kevin Conway. I make personal finance videos and other stimulus news videos all the time. If you're new here, if you've been watching a few videos and you haven't subscribed, why don't you just go ahead and subscribe, because I'm going to bring you the latest on EIDL grants, showing you how you, if you have a side hustle, can get $10,000. PPP money, showing you how you can get up to $2 million or $10 million if you're a first-time borrower, completely free. Unemployment insurance boost, renter assistance, all of that. We're going to cover all of that, plus videos on how to generate passive income, what the best bank accounts to get, all of that good stuff. So subscribe to the channel. And for all of you, if you can give a like to this video, it would mean the world to me. Just a simple like really helps the channel. It helps get the information out to more people. And that's what I'm all about, getting the information out, spreading financial knowledge, and all of that good stuff. So with that being said, let's jump right into the details. Last night, President-elect Joe Biden announced his support for a $1.9 trillion Joe Biden American Rescue Plan stimulus bill, the third stimulus bill. If you're keeping track out there, we're up to $5-6 trillion in stimulus. So what's a few trillion between friends? In this bill, we have an additional $1,400 of stimulus check. And the way it is worded right now is very curious. It's very unusual because it is worded as a true up on that $600 check that we got in January and in December. Basically, it's been distributed, it comes out in all different forms like this, and it may be direct deposit for you, depends. But it's worded very curiously because it's a $1,400 true up. And if you remember, $600 per person was the stimulus check. So husband, wife, kid. That means that that household got $1,800. Well, now you're going to get $1,400 per person on top of that. Husband, wife, kid now had $1,800. It goes all the way up to, what is that, 3 times 2? I'm a lawyer, I'm not a math major. That's $6,000. Correct me if I'm wrong below. This is off the cuff. So $6,000, that's very curious. It's a lot of money. And what's interesting is it includes adult dependents. It includes adult dependents. You're a college student, you're somebody claimed on someone else's tax return, you're going to be included in this next round of stimulus. That's what the push is right now. This is not law. This is a proposal, but it has a good chance of passing because the Democrats, which proposed this through Joe Biden, have control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency as of January 20th. So that's going to be very, very interesting. Also, if you're a mixed household, you are somebody that has a social but your spouse does not, you're eligible to get that stimulus check as well. Now, when can we expect to get this stimulus check? That's really the question that a lot of you are going to answer. They're going to want answers to, but it's kind of complicated. The reason is because the bill needs to pass first. I know that sounds like a tautology that seems simple, but the reason why that's important is because right now, President Trump is currently the first president ever to have been impeached twice. Now, an impeachment is simply setting up a trial, which occurs in the Senate. So the Senate actually has to try President Trump. Now, we know that current Senate Majority Leader Republican Mitch McConnell said that he's not going to take up this trial until after January 20th, after the Democrats have control of the Senate. So what does that mean? It means that the Senate will have to take it up after Joe Biden is in office. So are they going to pick impeaching and trying President Trump on January 20th, or are they going to prioritize getting this bill passed? My guess is they're going to just get right to the bill. They're not going to spend time on impeaching a president which is not in office any longer. At least that's what I think would be politically wise to do, because if they did that, they would, might be able to get both parties to agree on this bill. They might be able to have bipartisan support, which means the Democrats will be able to save a tool called reconciliation for later on, which will help them pass bills later on. If they have to use it this time, this bill will have to be much more narrowly tailored, and they will shoot themselves in the foot later on politically if they want to get their entire agenda accomplished. So what does that mean? What is the timing on the stimulus check? Well, if they carry forward on the impeachment, it could be delayed or actually totally scuttled 100%, and we may not get a stimulus check until March. But if they go ahead and they get right to the bill and they pass it based upon all the infrastructure that's already in place right now for everyone's banking information, the way they're sending out the stimulus checks the second time in a much faster way than the first time, I expect us to get a stimulus check by mid February, maybe a little earlier, but mid-February is my guess based upon what I'm reading, what I'm researching out there right now in stimulus. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll give you the latest as people bring it, as the research is done, as we know more and more on Capitol Hill. Lots is breaking all the time, and it's not so clear-cut that we are going to get a stimulus check after all, but if we do, it'll be in mid-February. That's my guess. Don't hold me to it because lots of crazier things have happened. Politicians promise lots of things, but come on, let's be real. Not all of them actually come through. There's not exactly, a match made in heaven here in the Senate either. It's a 50-50 split. The Democrats and the Republicans have 50-50. The tiebreak is by Vice President Kamala Harris, future Vice President Kamala Harris. So if anyone actually defects from the Democrat side, this bill can be in trouble. And that also means that they would like to peel off a few Republicans to join them on their side. But we don't exactly have a lot of Republican support. I'll read you a few quotes right here that are really going to make you say, wow, that doesn't sound exactly like they want another stimulus check. So here's what Senator Pat Toomey, the Republican, said. He said, blasting out, another $2 trillion in borrowed or printed money would be a colossal waste and economically harmful. That's interesting that he said economically harmful. Stimulus checks, are they economically harmful? I don't know. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, I certainly like to get some money. That certainly doesn't, hurt me too bad, but I could see the point of wasting money in his eyes and it blowing up the national debt. There's good arguments on both sides, but that's interesting how he phrased it. The point is he's probably not going to support it. Representative Kevin Brady of Texas called it another economic blind buffalo. Found that kind of interesting. That does nothing to save mainstream businesses, get people back to work, or strengthen our economy. That's his take. He's a Republican. He's not supporting it. So we also know that there's other priorities in this bill, which again are not exactly related to getting stimulus checks or unemployment insurance in your hands. Those priorities include $15 minimum wage, $15 federal minimum wage. That right there is going to be attacked heavily by Republicans and probably not supported. We also know that there's going to be additional things in this bill which are going to expand current programs, which we hope will pass because it'll help a lot of people. One of those things is renter assistance. If you're somebody who needs renter assistance, if you need help paying your rent, be sure to look at my previous video on rent aid. I go into detail there, but here's a quick, helpful hint for you. Use Google. Go on Google. Type in your city rent assistance or your city rent aid, your city housing authority rent aid. One of those, a combination of terms, will bring up a website which will show you how to actually apply for this rent aid. It depends on your county and your city what that website's going to look like and how that rent aid is going to be distributed. Some will do $1,000 a month, some will do a $5,000 block grant, and there's certain criteria that you need to meet, which are all going to be roughly in line. I talked about that in my previous video. I'll link it here in case you want to go check it out. But essentially, type in that and type in your city name and rent aid, and it'll pop up. A lot of times that screen will say, this isn't available right now. The funds have been spent. That's because they haven't updated it with this bill that was passed in December because, let's be honest, some of the local governments are a little bit slow. They're not actually ready to accept those applications yet, but just keep checking. Keep checking. I can guarantee that they'll open at some point. They have an obligation to do so because this is a law that was passed. So just keep that in mind as well. Also, if you're waiting on unemployment insurance, your states are going to be the ones that are going to be able to give you that re-up unemployment insurance. It'll be retroactive to December 26th. Keep that in mind as well. It's going to be a good thing to keep in mind if you want to actually get some help. If you have any comments at all, any questions, leave them in the comments below. Give a like to this video, subscribe to the video, comment with any videos you want me to cover, any topics. I'll go into detail, and I appreciate your support, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.